At the turn of the century, avant-garde artist Marcel Duchamp revolutionized the concept of art and its relationship to industrialized society through the idea of the ready-made. A ready-made is a pre-existing industrially produced object that the artist placed on a pedestal with little or no modification. In essence, art relies not on the thing itself, but in the intention of the artist and the viewer to see something as art. Duchamp argued that the public had an unnecessary adoration of art and he wanted to get rid of it. His first ready-made, a urinal he found at the New York plumbing supply outlet of J.L. Mott Ironworks Company, was to change the course of art history and the way we see art today. He contended, you have to approach something with indifference, as if you had no aesthetic emotion. The choice of ready-mades is always based on visual indifference, and at the same time on the total absence of good or bad taste. Duchamp submitted this urinal to the first exhibition of the Society of Independent Artists in 1917. The urinal was installed in a rotated position on its back to underscore its distance from the functional object it resembled. Duchamp signed the object on the bottom left-hand corner, like one might sign a painting, with the pseudonym R. Mutt. This gesture of artistic authority illustrated that anything could be art, even the humblest manufactured object. The R in R. Mutt stood for Richard, said to be the French slang for moneybags or rich man, perhaps commenting on the bourgeoisie of the art world. However, literally translated, R. Mutt means mongrel art. The piece was rejected, however was permitted to remain in the show behind a partition. The sheer action of showcasing this piece took the common object from its functional environment to the gallery podium, with no practical use for the scrutiny of the spectator. Institutional theory states that art is what the art world says is art. A person is recognized as an artist if they have been trained in art and have had a history of exhibiting as an artist. A work will not become art unless it is accepted by galleries, critics, textbooks, and other artists. The fountain disputes this definition and thus becomes art through the act of the artist choosing the object as art, the cancellation of the original function of the object, and the presentation and addition of a title. In support of the fountain, art patron Walter Ahrensberg stated that whether Mr. Mutt with his own hands made the fountain or not has no importance. He chose it. He took an ordinary article of life and placed it so its useful significance disappeared under the new title and point of view, created a new thought for that object. The radical consequence of this is that art does not reside in the object itself, but the meaning we bring to it. At the beginning of the 20th century, the system of mass production was taking hold. Frederick Winslow Taylor's concept of scientific management, later known as Taylorism, profoundly shaped industrialized labor. Taylorism consists of breaking down a work operation into its component parts in order to optimize tedious, menial, and repetitive industrial work tasks, a process which resulted in the advent of the assembly line. Though Taylor did not compare workers to machines, the goal was to accelerate the process of automation in industry and shift production to machines. Duchamp's fountain ultimately critiqued the emerging fast-paced mechanical world that brought it to life and then enveloped it. As the fountain was only showcased hidden behind a partition, the object was never truly displayed. The original object was later lost, thus the only proof of its existence is the original photograph taken of it and a number of replica. One might say that these later attempts at reproduction of the work are not reincarnations of lost, destroyed objects, but instances that mimic the processes of industrial production. The paradox that surrounds these reproductions is the fact that they are now worth more than the original piece itself. Through the process of reproduction, the fountain can now be recognized as serial work, which associates with the concept of value with production of multiples. The artistic value emerges as function of reproduction, a process of repetition, relating back to the original industrial object. The fountain blurred the boundaries between art and life and art and technology, and set the stage for what was later to come in conceptual and pop art. The significant impact of the idea of the ready-made on our understanding of art, technology, and the everyday will continue to inspire us to push the boundaries of our common understandings of the world around us.